Hello. I have suggested that perhaps the condor Gryphus was not very popular the first time around. Released in 2021, now discontinued, and still for sale at various outlets online, as far as I can tell. We're not yet entirely sure whether the steel is 1075 or 420HC because the brand themselves claim both. However, it's probably going to be the carbon steel. That's what everyone else says. This was the original dangler on the sheath. It worked okay. But I thought I would try a kind of a Seax-Carry. So I got a piece of leather thong and just, as you see. And this appears to work quite well. But I haven't, been out and about with it like this yet. But as you can see, this is how I tend to dress right now. So even if you have a conventional kind of poco style carry, that's, there's a little bit of groping going on around the clothing. Whereas this is really an accessible point. And in terms of the drawing from the kydex, the design of the knife, keeps your thumb okay, keeps it pretty much out of harm's way there. And this is very handy. Even this design of sheath's quite smart. If you wanted to sharpen this swedge, you're not going to get a problem with cutting your sheath drawing in that, drawing out in that direction. So from what I read, the deal with the carrying the knife this way was that in terms of defense, you would actually be able to deploy the cutting edge quicker. Now, in this instance, which that might not seem like it, but if you try it yourself, if it's this way around, and I draw, aside from the fact now I don't have that ramp there, but now I'm drawing from here. My edge is kind of facing the wrong direction, unless I'm trying to cut someone in the knees, which, could be an option. And could still be an option in this case with a sharpened swedge, because you can, also deploy like that. Hey, I'm not a martial artist. I just like to speculate and play around with this stuff, But this is, like for woods carry or what have you, I think this is convenient. And yeah, the idea of sharpening the swedge is quite intriguing, because I think you could do some interesting work with that, done as a steep, perhaps slightly hollow grind. And so far I chopped some wood with this, and it did just fine. Touched up the edge a little bit, but so yeah, there we go. But this has definitely got potential for grinding, further grinding. And what I'm thinking about doing is a test up here. I'm not a huge fan of the way they put the Condor brand on there. And this funny texture is, kind of so-so about it, but what I think could look good is to rough it up a little bit and then blue it. If it'll take a blue, then we know it's carbon steel. I put a lanyard on here, nice thick lanyard. This pommel I find very attractive. It will get cold in your hand, but the lanyard would definitely come in handy for chopping. I just put that in the wrong way around, didn't I? Because I'm used to wearing it this way around. I gotta figure this out. Okay, so I go in through the top. That's easy. So, right. So, not a lot of pommel there to grip onto. The thing is, what I find is that big chunky pommels get uncomfortable quite quickly. So this is I think this is preferable to me than some big old bird's beak or whatever. And with a lanyard, then it's really optimal. You got this, and some people like the hidden lanyard holes, like on this William Collins knife I have here. And I think that's fantastic. It's wonderful how he does it. However, I think, I'm not maybe convinced, I might need to test the theory some more, but I think that I prefer this setup because you're pinching like this, and the handle kind of pivots on the cord in such a way that it doesn't quite do the same thing when you have the lanyard coming right out the back of the knife like that, or much less when you have a big old bird's beak and then the lanyard hole is up the front here. That disables this because it makes the whole thing flip, right? Oh, and here's another interesting thing I like to try is to see if I drop it, will it hit my arm? Because it seems to me that has to do with obviously a multitude of factors, the balance of the knife and what have you. But there are knives where if I do this, it would conceivably, I can get it to kind of hit me if I give it a little flick there. But I'm just trying to drop it and see what it does. And there are ones that will consistently hit you in the arm, such that if you had a bare arm, it would nick you probably. So I bought this knife just because I like the look of it, but I was trying to sell knives in a display in a friend's business. And so I didn't really buy it for me, but there was the possibility, I thought, of maybe keeping it. And because it didn't sell, and I folded that, I ended up keeping a few knives. Also kept this one, which is Tresius knife. Very fine. Not even going to get that out because we'll get distracted. Have to do another video about that one day. Yeah, from time to time I would get this out and kind of ogle it and say, that's really cool, but, I just already had a lot of knives to play around with, but, I really like the guardless Bowie. Here's a distraction I'll entertain. Here's another guardless Bowie. Been working on this one. Well, been stalled on this one for a while. It's the same deal as the Tiddly Whittler here. Needs some black epoxy filling and some pins. And this is a Cobra Hunter, I believe it was called. Cobra Hunter 2 from Brazil, from the 1970s, maybe 80s. This thing is incredible. This is an awesome knife. I love it. And so I used the fat carbon offcut I have of the Brazil flag colors, and I believe I have another piece that should go in there of that, but I can't find it. Anyway, this is great. This is awesome. Certainly a very different knife. A lot bigger, a lot heavier. This is choppier. This is whippier. And much easier to carry, for sure. Ooh. Ooh. That could be nasty. Okay. We want to be careful about that. Okay, yes. You know, I've had this, come to this conclusion before. Lift your sheath, right? Lift your sheath, get it out. There we go. Very few circumstances where I would really probably have to do this one-handed. But I guess if I did... Yeah. Okay, well, I'll be careful. Thanks for watching.